This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked your boy up with a bunch of tools and formulations from their all-in-one performance package, listed at $109.99, plus tax, and every 3 months a reoccurring $14.99, plus tax peak performance kit, which will replace your blades and give a free new gift every 3 months. And you could cancel at any time. If you really don't want the recurring payment, you could purchase the kit for $119.99. So an additional $10 plus tax, and also every order will come with free shipping. Wow, I'm really truly excited to try out this new waterproof lawnmower 3.0. It has advanced skin safe technology. The skin safe technology is made to reduce nicks and cuts. When you're mowing your crown jewels, you really don't want nicks and cuts. The Lawnmower 3.0 is built with a precision LED light and equipped with a ceramic blade. Now, let's talk about those pesky weeds called nose and ear hairs. The all-new Weed Whacker will definitely get the job done to cut those hairs down and keep your hygiene at an all-time high, because you don't want to look like a caveman, especially on a first date, a job interview, or your wedding anniversary. So definitely get the Weed Whacker today. Manscaped just didn't stop at the lawnmower or the Weed Whacker. They created these amazing formulations. One is the ball deodorant called the Crop Preserver, and a ball toner called the Crop Reviver. And these formulations are definitely a game changer to reduce chafing in high chafing areas. Definitely a must-have, and both of these are included in the performance package. For a limited time, you'll get all these plus 2 free gifts. You'll get the Shed travel bag, plus you'll get a Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off, free international shipping, plus the Shed and the boxer briefs when you use the promo code Trox at manscapes.com. Your balls and your body will definitely thank you. Hey, what is going on? Appreciate everybody for coming out today. This is Necessary Roughness. We have 8 days before the NFL draft, and we got Chase Bishop, Vash Starwin, Nolan, Dominic Pope, Dave Adamski. Let's see who else. Clara, X Inhaler, Detroit Lions Talk with MicroMike, Bryce. We have Travis Doyley. We have Jorge, Vash Starwin, Noble Sports Entertainment. What's going on, everybody? We have the Gridiron Blitz. What's going on? And what is going on, Tone? How's it going, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, absolutely. What's going on, Bryce? What's going on, Alan? So we got 8 days away before the NFL draft, and man, I am excited. Tone, who do you have as a sleeper prospect that it doesn't matter what team drafts him, but it's just kind of flying under the radar?
Honestly, I got a few sleeper prospects, but if I had to name one, I think it might be Azeez Ojulari.
Ojulari?
Yeah, Azeez Ojulari, edge from Georgia. I think, honestly, he's probably the best. He's the most talented edge in the draft. Of course, I have Jalen Phillips as the number 1 edge, but I don't really hear people talk about Ojulari like that. They just kind of slot him in the second round. And if anything, I think he's a first-round talent. And I think he is like have you ever seen Brian Burns?
Yeah.
He's kind of like in that Brian Burns tier of like super athletic guys. Now, he's not as athletic as Brian Burns, but he has a little bit more power in him. His tool belt as a pass rusher isn't very refined right now. It's not much in the tool belt, but he has all the tools you want. He has the bend, he has the length, he has enough strength, and he's shown the ability to convert speed to power. He has to get off. He has everything you want. And if you want a guy that can cover, he can do that too. He's pretty athletic. He's not that great in the run right now, but he has all the tools to be great in the run. He's not an amazing pass rusher at the moment. But because he currently really only has one move, but he does that one move really well, which tells me that clearly he can learn the moves. That maybe they haven't been taught to him like that. So that he's probably my favorite edge of the draft, even if I have Phillips as the number one edge.
Yeah, I like Jalen Phillips as well. I think he's a lot better than Gregory Rousseau. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, what's wait, Trox, wait a second,
Gregory
better than
trash.
Gregory." Hey, I'm glad you said it, brother, because I agree 110.
I mean, in the fifth round, I consider him. But I probably wouldn't take him in the fifth. Talent.
Yeah, I real talk, I wouldn't even take him. My per se a sleeper guy is actually Chris Rump II, out of Duke University. He's a smaller guy, but man, does he have a motor on him. Like, he's quick. He's a quick guy. He's going to take time to develop. I think he's going to be probably in the 6th or 7th round. But, man, if he is there and, say, there's a trade offer to drop in, say with the Detroit Lions even, or any team, if you want to jump up and grab a bona fide edge rusher, go check out Chris Rump out of Duke University. I'm not a Duke University fan, per se, but as far as the player's talent, I'm a firm believer. And shout out to Rasheed Wallace. He says the ball don't lie. Well, that film don't lie. And his film definitely don't lie. He's going to take some time to develop, a couple years, give him about 2-3 years, and he's going to be a bona fide stud. Depending on where he lands, if he has some good coachings that deal with defensive linemen, he's going to blossom. He's going to blossom. I love Chris Rump II. He's definitely a sleeper pick of mine. So, Tone, hey, well, first off, let's say shout out to Delusional Lions fan with that 99-cent super chat. Appreciate that, brother. But, Tone, what is a guy that, just a player that, you're just super high on? It could be any position, just, it doesn't even have to be a sleeper. It could even be, Trevor Lawrence for all we know. Like, just name a player that, you're super high on in this draft.
So chat probably knows where I'm going with this one. And it is the man, the tight end, not even tight end, the offensive weapon out of Florida. It is Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I love that man. I don't know why. That man, I did not want that man a few months ago. Not at all. Somebody came in the chat. He was like, "Oh, look at his separation stats." I'm like, I don't care about that. Some PFL came up with. It was like, well, look at this. I'm like, he's a tight end. I don't want it. And then people started talking to me, man. Vach fell in love with him. I follow him on Twitter. I just keep getting his tweets, and I keep getting bombarded with all this.
Oh yeah.
You know what? They kind of is true.
Yeah.
Man, people like PFL hit me with a statement. It was like he probably the only tight end in history that would be a first round talent if he was a wide receiver. I'm like, that's true.
Yeah.
And then Vach was like, and no other tight end in history was beating up on first round corners like Pitts. I'm like, man, that's also true. Then
that film don't lie when it comes to Kyle Pitts.
It really don't. Pitts is probably like, he's kind of like new age Kittle. I mean not Kittle, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like modern Kelsey. Like, imagine you take Kelsey, you give him like an insane wingspan, make him way faster.
Yeah.
It's not as good as a blocker, but like, he's a willing blocker, and once he gets to the NFL, he'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, depending on where he can land.
Dan Campbell.
One
thing he can do is go to them blocking tight ends. TJ. Oh yeah, team's gonna be scared when they walk and sit down the field.
Yeah,
like, who do I cover?
He doesn't even have to line up in the tight end position. He can line out wide or in the slot or as a tight end. Like, he has so much of position versatility. It's insane.
Yeah. And if you watch his film, you notice that a lot of times teams don't even put safeties on him. What they'll do is they'll move their cornerback into the box to cover him, which helps you in the run game because now you don't got to deal with a safety in the box. You got to deal with a cornerback in the box.
Yep.
Helps you in the run game because teams personnel-wise, they just kind of go like, well, we can't cover him with a safety. We can't cover him with a linebacker. We'll put a corner on him. And even some of the best teams, like Alabama, didn't even put Surtain on him. They brought somebody else into the game to put him on him. They didn't even feel confident about putting Surtain on him.
Hey, that's one of those dang moments. Like, dang.
And when Surtain was on him, he was killing them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Kyle Pitts. If a top offensive lineman or even or even a top receiver is off the board and you need somebody immediately plug and play, I wouldn't mind a Kyle Pitts. Especially here in Detroit, you could, he'd definitely take over that Kenny Golladay role. He would definitely take over that Jesse James role. One team I wouldn't actually look past, and if he's there at 16, that's going to be hard for the Arizona Cardinals to pass up on. I think he'll be way off the board by then, but if he's there,
they're not let him pass.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that. Oh man, hey, if he gets to that team, hey,
Cowboys taking him if he's there.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, they got. If they're looking at a tight end though, they got Dalton Schultz. I'm very high on Dalton Schultz. I wanted him as a Detroit Lion in his draft class. I was like, if we can pair, grab him and put him in the league, and then I think it was the very next year it was the TJ Hawkinson, or it might have been the same draft class. I'm not too sure, but pair him up with the TJ Hawkinson, like that would be a nice 1-2 punch. But Dallas took him, and he was actually tearing it up this year when he had the opportunity.
Yeah,
and that was with the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth quarterback too. So once Dak Prescott went down, it was all Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I heard Jerry in love with Pitts though. Let me tell you something.
Oh
I don't want to see what the league looks like. That offense comes out there. You got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper,
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
Dalton Schultz.
I forget the other wide receiver they got. Galloway.
Michael Gallup.
Man, you're not stopping that offense. You better just hope.
Hey, facts.
Hope they just score a field goal at some point.
Facts, and it's against former Green Bay Packer head coach Mike McCarthy too. So he kind of likes his little tight ends too. So Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy, yeah, that's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, too bad he's gonna be in Detroit with Campbell. Then we're gonna take Caleb Farley, and then we're gonna go from there.
I don't know about Caleb Farley though. I think we can wait on a corner. I do think we do need to address the corner though. In this draft,
that guy in a second. I can get that guy in a second. The most talented corner in the draft.
Yeah, but we got so many other glaring needs. You at least at corner, you have what's his name, Okuda, and you have Awarie as well.
True.
Where here, you have a glaring need at linebacker and at offensive tackle. Now, a lot of people don't realize with the offensive tackles in Detroit, like, it is super, super a definite need. That's why I am, at number 7, go get the best offensive tackle, whether it's Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater. Do not trade back if those two guys are on the board. Just because of that glaring need. Terrell Crosby is going to be a free agent after the season. And you went and re-signed Matt Nelson. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. And you have Taylor Decker. That's all your offensive tackles. You got 3 offensive tackles. So a glaring need, like top pick has to be offensive tackle when it comes to the Detroit Lions.
My opinion on who the Lions should take is very much evolved. Because before I was kind of like, oh, let's take Slater, second round, let's get either an edge or a linebacker.
Yeah.
And after that, let's just get whoever. Now it's kind of get Pitts or somebody else, second round, take the most talented corner available, and from there choose between the most talented edge and no tackle. Because my thing about it is, I think O tackle is a need for the future, but I think if we just get Crosby to hold it down for this year, which he's already proven that he can, right? We get an O-line coach who's already shown he can coach up O-line talent. He's done it with 5th round guys, 4th round guys, 3rd round guys. So he's already done it consistently, right? So we already know he can do it. Let's take a talented guy and in the draft, probably like we got like a Spencer Brown, and there's a O tackle, I forget his name, from Cincinnati. He's kind of falling at the moment because he didn't test well, but he looked super athletic on the film, and that's what matters. Get a super talented tackle like that, and if you really don't like him, you could probably get a decent starter in FA, or you could just hit it again in next year's draft if you really think it's that big of a need. Because at this point, I think it's so many talented corners in this draft. Like, if I can get a guy like Fairley, like, I know people are concerned about his back, but I mean, from what I understand about the situation is he was working out. He injured 2 parts of his back. He got 1 part surgically repaired, and he got the other part. He just kind of let it heal, so he sat out the season. And then when he started working out again, teams just kind of like, go ahead and just get that other part surgically repaired too, so it won't be a problem. Now, I know some people worry about his injury. I know he was injured his first year as a freshman. He was out for the year. His junior season, well, his last season that he played, he missed like 2 games, and this one happened in like camp. So apparently he's already had the procedure. They say he should probably be good by the time he come back to camp. And if I'm the Lions, I'm like, hey, let's take as much time as you need. I don't need you back yet to know we don't really even need you like that this year. You're for the future.
Yeah.
And having that guy cornered, like, he don't even have Jalen Ramsey type talent. He has like, I don't even know how to say it. Because, like, he's 6'2", 200 pounds, long arms with, like, legit 4.3 speed.
Yeah.
Like, and he can move. He got ball skills, too, because he was a former wide receiver. Only thing is, he's not even super raw corner. He just missing a lot of the nuances of corner. Because, and that stuff is going to come with time. If I'm Detroit, I'm like, listen, get him and Okuda in the same scheme. They're not the same type of player, but they benefit. They thrive in the same type of scheme. Listen, get him and Okuda out there. You can probably get another corner out there. This cornerback class is really super talented and deep.
Yeah. Oh, it really is. Because at corner, I'm actually looking at a who was that? Demondre Lenore out of Oregon. A lot of people are not talking about him, but I really like his skill set. Lenore is actually pretty solid. You pair him up with, say, what's his name? Hamlin, out of, where's he from? Where's Hamlin from? The safety. Well, anyways, you pair him up with those two, and that's a nice 1-2 punch at the defensive back position, though.
Yeah.
And you could get him in like the 5th round or 6th round or even 7th round. Like, you could get great talent. Like, and that's where I'm always like, follow the board. Don't be smarter than the draft. Always just follow the best player available, regardless of position. Because once you do that, you're going to get talent in every single round. And, with the Detroit Lions or with the Arizona Cardinals or who else has like really low numbers, I think Seattle too, the Seattle Seahawks. When you have only like 4 to 6 picks, you have to hit on every single pick. So if you just follow the board, you're going to get talent regardless of where you pick. So it's like, man, this is such a deep class. Just all around the board, like you go defensive back, you go linebacker, you go wide receiver, you go running back, you go, look at the quarterback position as well. You got 5 or 6 or 7 different, quality quarterbacks. I mean, there's some that, you might need a couple years for them to develop, but the long-term plan, if developed the right way, you got about 7 different quarterbacks that are going to be, okay, they are going to be some good quarterbacks this year. So it's like, always follow the board. And, if you find a Caleb Farley, if you find a Kyle Pitts, if you find, these diamond in the roughs, that's when you're going to just be like, holy smokes, like, how did I land all these good guys? Well, I just followed the draft board. I've done, if you haven't checked out, I did actually a Lions mock draft over on the Infinite Sports Network YouTube channel. It is a 40-minute long video, but, I was just following the board, really. I mean, there were some guys I had to take, obviously, with the lack of picks and the lack of trade offers that I was getting. I had to make sure I got my guys that I wanted. But overall, I always just stuck to the board. Like, okay. Actually, somebody who I didn't even think was going to be available in the 3rd round was Asante Samuel Jr. He was available in the 3rd round. I said, you know what? I'm running to the
Derrn in real life.
Hey, if he is there at what is it, the 72nd overall pick, I'm running up to the podium, putting in that draft pick because that pick is in, and it's Asante Samuel Jr. Hey, shout out to Travis Doyley with the $5 super chat. Asante Samuel Jr., thoughts on drafting him? I really like him. Hey, perfect timing because in my mock draft on Infinite Sports Network, I actually drafted him with the 72nd overall pick. And I ran to that podium. I said, oh, wait, he's available? Like, what? But, okay, for me, if, say, the Detroit Lions, if they can walk out with Slater, Collins, Cox, or Nick Bolton with the first 3 picks and say maybe go get a Tylan Wallace, like that right there in your first 3 rounds, in your first 2 days, you've plugged a lot of holes because you solidified your linebacking core. Then you solidified your offensive tackle problems. And I went and got a number 2 receiver in Tylan Wallace. He's going to be a number 2 in the league. With a possibility of developing into maybe even a number 1. You walk out in your first 2 days with those 4 guys. You have to walk out with Zaven Collins. You have to. Like, if you are Lions fan, you have to walk out with Zaven Collins. If you love linebacking core and you love DeAndre Levy, he is the closest one I have seen in this draft class. That's the closest thing to a DeAndre Levy. I was the one that wanted TJ Watt over the elite Jared Davis. I wanted TJ Watt over Jared Davis. And I was so mad, and I'm talking about so mad, that he was not available because we selected Jared Davis. Guy can't even make a tackle. Guy can't even get an interception. Guy can't even play a game of football. Like, come on, man.
He plays football with his eyes closed.
Hey, he plays... Hey, that is facts, Tone. That is facts. Oh, man. Hey, Jared Davis plays football with his eyes closed. That is all facts. I mean, no disrespect to Jared Davis, but come on, man. Come on, man. But, and I'm not too high on Jelani Tavai either. I mean, at first I was like, okay, let's see what he got. Okay, he doesn't have nothing really. So to solidify
Jared Davis.
Who?
That's a start. At least he's better than Davis. That's a starting point.
Yeah. I got to give you that one. I mean, although Tavai is slower than molasses, He is still better than Jared Davis.
It's weird. Davis too fast, Tavai too slow. Like, man.
Hey, can they combine to make one? Right. You combine both of their talents, you got one linebacker that's solid. Oh man. But I don't know, man. If we could walk out with Zaven Collins, man, and solidify that offensive tackle spot, I am one happy camper. Because Zaven Collins is the second coming of DeAndre Levy. Like, I know a lot of people are going to be like, don't disrespect DeAndre Levy like that, but man, I just see so many similarities. He can get after the quarterback. He can cover and passes. He can pick up the interception. He's fast enough to maybe even run one for a pick six. He could just do so many different things. Like, Zaven Collins, man, he has got to be a top pick.
I heard the Cardinals, I think it was, I forget what two prospects. I know it was J.C. Horn. Basically, if the two top prospects wasn't there, they said that they would probably be what's his name? The person you just said.
Zaven Collins?
Yeah, they said, I just saw that like a few minutes ago. It was like, if the Cardinals' top two guys aren't there, it would probably be Zaven Collins in the middle of the first for them.
Hey, you know what? They get themselves a certified dog. Especially with the Cardinals, like, they are an aging group. Obviously being in a win now, you kind of almost have to be an aging group. But man, it's like, holy smokes, if he is there, you can't pass up on a guy, especially when like a Micah Parsons is off the board. Zaven Collins, to me, for me, I think he's even better than Micah Parsons. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me, but it's personally my opinion. I'm not going to say nobody is right or wrong. I mean, I do like Micah Parsons, but man, I really like Zaven Collins. Shout out to Noble Sports first and foremost. He's the one who put me up on him. He said, Trox, go take a look at this kid. Go take a look at this kid and let me know what your thoughts. I said, oh my God, I don't need to see no more. The dude needs to be a lion. Like, a lion or a cardinal. I don't care where. But, go get that man quick, fast, and in a hurry. Shout out to Travis Doyley. Says, thoughts on Joe Tryon. Tell him, what's your thoughts on Joe Tryon?
Oh, yeah, I was actually thinking about Joe Tryon earlier. Hey, listen, man, let me say something. If you're retired at night, I don't even take no NyQuil, man. Throw on some Joe Tryon film, you be out sleep. Have you out worse than, like, if you got hit with a right hook from Mike Tyson. Listen, man, Joe Tryon is amazing for my sleep schedule. Yeah, now, he's not amazing for me on the football field, but he's amazing for my sleep schedule.
Oh man, hey, absolutely. I like Joe Tryon too. Hey, third, fourth round pick. I would definitely be targeting him. I mean, we got 2 third-round picks, so we target him in the third, or if we think that he's going to be there in the fourth, go attack it and go get him. I like him. I like Chris Rump. I like who else is there? A later on pick.
It's Quincy Roche.
Oh yeah, Quincy Roche as well. If you get one of those 3 guys, I'm not going to be mad. Or if you go in the second round or third round, early third, with the 72nd, if he's still available, then definitely go Jalen Phillips. I think he's going to be there in the second. I don't think he's going to make it past the second, but if he is there in the third with that 72nd overall pick, you go and tack that. Quick, fast, and in the hurry, because that's not even a thought process to me.
I know a lot of people concerned about some of these players' injury concerns, like Phillips.
Yeah.
Unfairly, and I'm willing to tell you, if they are past the first, they have so much talent that I'm willing to not care about that.
Yeah. Well, it depends on if it's a serious injury.
Phillips was basically, he had concussions at UCLA. He didn't have any problems last year in Miami.
Yeah.
Fairley was basically, he injured his back. He's had like 2 significant injuries. One of them, if he probably got surgically repaired, I'm pretty sure he probably would have played in the season, but he decided to just do it the natural way.
Yeah. But I mean, if a guy is like Javid Best, I wouldn't take a flyer on that, unless it's like a late round draft
Because it's
pick.
not like a guy like Dylan Moses. Nah,
Yeah.
I would take that guy late because he not only did he have injury problems every year,
Yeah.
but he's looked worse every year.
Yeah.
Let's say Caleb Farley had a bad back, and I saw him run a 4.2 with a bad back.
Yeah. Like that's some talent. If you had a true bad back, you're not running no 4.2.
I'm saying.
You're probably like 4.6, 4.7. Obviously because these athletes are talented, but you're not running no 4.3, no 4.2, no 4.4s. You're not running no sub 5. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that man is a demon. 6'2", fast, great athlete, long arms. He coming to the league, he'd be the most talented corner in the league.
Yeah.
By far. Now,
actually, that's one person I'm targeting with the Cardinals is Caleb Farley. I think if he can land with the Cardinals, with a Buda Baker, with guys like that, I think he doesn't have to be the man, and to make sure that he's in NFL game shape, knows the speed of the game, learns the playbook, things of that nature. You could just then at that point let Caleb Farley go and let him do his job, and you're gonna get a very good player.
PFF actually just put an article where they said Farley might they said they would love to see if Farley doesn't make it past the Cardinals, and it seems like Farley's going to make it to the second. Apparently,
it looks like it. Yeah, and that's the crazy part.
That's what I'm saying. Like if he's in the second, I'm taking a chance on that talent. Listen,
yeah,
if I hit it, I hit it. Cause it's like he's gonna be so much more. He's like a top. Like if we want to talk about generational talent, he has generational talent. He's just not a generational talent because he don't know how to use his talent all the way yet. And I'll go like, listen, man.
I think that's from the back injury.
Yeah, because most of it is a back injury.
Yeah,
I'm like, listen, I'll take a chance on that. I'll take a chance on it because you're eventually you're gonna take a chance on somebody with some injury history, and at some point, if the value in the talent outweighs the risk, I'm just willing to take that risk.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't take him in the first, no, unless it was like super late first. But if I can get a potential like top 3 pick in top 3 talent in the second, and I'll take the chance.
Yeah. Travis Doyley with the $5 super chat says, Tone, you're wrong with Joe Tryon. He's a top 10 edge rusher to me. Watch a good he's going to be in the NFL. I think that's supposed to be watch how good he is going to be in the NFL.
I will watch how good he will be with a pillow on my hand. Because, man, I tell you, I'll be asleep. That man makes me tired.
I mean, I
was thinking about him earlier, and I started yawning.
I mean, I like Joe Tryon, though. Like, I wouldn't say, with this draft class, I would say top 10 edge rusher in this draft class. Now, if it was, say, last year's draft class or the following year, I would say probably top 25, but, that kind of just goes to show on the lack of top tier talent that this draft class has. Joe Tryon, he's a very good player. I feel he's just going to need time to develop. That's why I say if he's there in the 3rd round or the 4th round, I'd definitely take a flyer on him. I mean, that's the end of day 2 or, early day 3. I would definitely take a flyer on Joe Tryon at that point. Absolutely.
Well, you said I take him. I take a shot on him at round 7.
Round 7?
Yeah.
What?
You know what? Actually, I don't know if I'd take a chance on round 7. That seems a little too high.
Oh my God!
He did. If he's there in undrafted free agency, I might hit his phone up. I don't know. I had to consider it depending on who on there.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Tone. He ain't going to be there past the 4th.
As long as he's not on my team, I don't care.
But I will say this, next year's draft class, I'm very high on a couple edge rushers. So if we don't even select a single edge rusher this year, definitely next year that's going to be like within the first 2 picks. And we got 2 first-round draft picks. So one of those first-round draft picks will be an edge rusher. So that's why I'm not so high on a edge rusher this year. Now, next year, oh yeah, absolutely. You could go quarterback edge rusher in your first round. You can go a multiple of different, but I would definitely target, maybe with the Rams' first round pick, target, an edge rusher. And you're going to get a very solid one too next year. As far as this year is concerned, I'm more high on a lot of these defensive tackles that's coming in. This is actually a very good defensive tackle draft class. And one thing that especially the Lions are lacking is that interior defensive line. That interior, when you're having Delvin Cook and you're having Aaron Jones and you're having Singletary, I think his name is, from the Bears, just running up the gut. Both times we play them, just running up the gut at will, there's an issue. You got to go address defensive tackle. One of my guys, shout out to Detroit Lions Talk with MicroMike, and that is Marvin Wilson. I am super high on this guy. I want him. I don't care where you select him at. This guy needs to be a Detroit Lion. There's actually 2 Florida State University players I am very, very high on. And shout out to MicroMike and shout out to TA Noble Sports. Man, if you get Marvin Wilson, you definitely upgraded that defensive tackle position. What's your thoughts on that?
This D tackle class is sad. I hate looking at this D tackle class because this is a bunch of guys like everybody want Christian Barmore and that guy. I mean, he's talented. He's a talented pass rusher. I'm just not a big fan of him, especially because he didn't offer me nothing in the run game. He's not going to give you nothing there.
Did you watch the national title game, bro?
Hey, listen, you know what's crazy? Alabama took him off for most of the run game. Most of the time, unless it's
but he was making so many plays. Like sure. every other play you're hearing, Christian Barmore. I'm
that
like,
is true.
dang.
I will give him that, but he wasn't doing that for the rest of the season. He wasn't doing that during most of the season.
I mean, he was doing that for in the playoffs though. And that's when you want him to ball out. Out in the postseason.
I watched like every Alabama game this year. I didn't hear his name really called until the Ohio State game. And I was kind of like, that's kind of wild.
I mean, but that is the biggest game of a player's career. You're talking about the national title. That's like playing in the Super Bowl. Those that perform well in those types of games are going to be the guys that get selected high or that are going to be paid when their rookie contract is up. You play in the Super Bowl, you ball out in the Super Bowl, you're going to get paid. You don't believe me? Go look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How many guys that just went and cashed in that might not have cashed in on any other year? But because they balled out so hard in the Super Bowl, they're like, we gotta pay them. It's the biggest game of their career, and they handled the pressure like a true champion.
Yeah. But I do like Marvin Wilson. I know some people don't like him. Apparently, he didn't have a great year last year. I heard that apparently he lost some weight, and I heard he didn't play that well. And I'm just kind of like, well, put that weight back on him and see what happens. Because he was a top recruit coming out of high school. He was a top player in college till last year. I'm not willing to let 1 year just decide that this guy's not good.
Yeah. Shout out to David Webster. Says conference matters to me. Pac-12 is less than the ACC, which is less than the Big Ten, and which is less than the SEC. Your thoughts on that premise?
I definitely put the ACC last. The ACC, other than Clemson, Miami had a good year this year. And
Yeah.
North Carolina had a good year this year. But like in usual years, you get out of Pac-12, you're going to get Oregon. You're probably going to get Washington.
Yeah.
And I think Baylor's there too.
Yeah. I think Baylor's Big 12 or I think they're Big 12. I think Baylor is. If you can fact check that, or if the
Arizona State. I know Arizona. They got Cal is nothing crazy. USC usually is up there.
Yeah.
Utah's been up there sometimes in recent years. Washington State is kind of on and off. Same thing with Stanford. Same thing with Arizona State. I put the Pac-12 with ACC. For me, it'd probably be ACC last, then Pac-12, then Big 12, then Big 10, and then SEC.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, the SEC is college football's darlings. Every year they got, 3-4 teams that are really fighting for that top spot. I'm a Michigan Wolverine and an Arizona Arizona Wildcat fan. So, I mean, I'm a little biased, but I do know what facts is facts. And facts is the SEC is a little bit better. I mean, you look at national titles, they have, they're starting to win more national titles. Big Ten, we got to step it up. We definitely got to step it up. But when you got, Alabama and LSU over there,
you got Georgia.
Yeah, you got Georgia there. You also got Oklahoma there. Oklahoma's
Big 12.
Oh, Oklahoma's Big 12.
But they got Tennessee was good this year. Well, for a while, then they got knocked out. But you got Florida. You got Texas A&M. Texas A&M almost made the college football playoff.
Yep.
Florida almost did, but one of the reasons they didn't make it is because they got knocked out by LSU and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Like Texas A&M was like number 5. And the only reason they didn't make it basically is because Ohio State is Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He wanted to elaborate a little bit. He said with regards to the NFL offense and defense ready, that's what I meant. Pac-12 is super spread, no defense type thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pac-12 is super spread, no defense. Big 12 is all offense, no defense.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. The only team that really played defense sometimes is Texas, and they are on and off.
Yeah.
Oklahoma probably could be on defense, but their defense coordinator just be doing some of the crazy stuff I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what he be doing. In terms of the SEC is probably the closest you're going to get in terms of NFL offenses and defenses. There's some Power 5 teams that do it good. Like I know USC. I mean not USC. UCF. I know they ran like an NFL type cover 3 scheme.
Yeah.
But, one of the reasons a lot of teams don't run schemes like that is because you deal with miscommunications. A lot of dudes aren't ready for that stuff in college. And sometimes students struggle with that. Like LSU gets you ready for playing some man in the NFL. It's the reason. One of the reasons why their corners always come out well. Same thing with Alabama. That's definitely a thing because what college you goes to, those guys they consistently like Alabama and LSU consistently pump out good corners for a reason. It's for a reason. Also the competition you go against, like a guy like J.C. Horn. Like a lot of the SEC corners, if you're not at Alabama, like you're going to deal with guys like last year. You had like 2 years ago, you had to deal with guys like Judy. Like if you play in Alabama, you got to deal with like guys like Judy, Ruggs, Smith, and Waddle. You play LSU, you got to deal with Terrence Marshall, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, right?
Yeah. Like it's just a nightmare waiting to happen, and that's what makes great corners. From college to the pros is they're able to, and that's why, during the season, I'll look at game film during the season, but let me see you in the playoffs. Let me see how you do in the playoffs if you make it in the playoffs, or in bowl games, because that's when the pressure is truly on. If you just waltz into the playoffs and you're not really playing nobody, then you get done up the first round. It's okay, you take it with a grain of salt. Okay, congrats, you made it, but I don't know if you were ready for it. Alabama, they've always played against top tier talent. They have always played against, LSU. They've always played against Oklahoma. Miami, all these other teams, Michigan,
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. I mean,
there's so many teams in the SEC.
Yeah, but Alabama's not shy away from those top tier teams though either. They'll schedule that. Yeah, and that's why guys that come out of those colleges are always NFL readies because they've been against the best of whatever college has to offer. Now when you go to the NFL, okay, yeah, you're going to have a learning curve. It's going to take you, 2-3 years to understand the NFL playbook. But once you get that and you get the flow of the game, look at all these, SEC guys that came out in the draft. You look at who was one offhand. Look at Jalen Ramsey. Florida State. He's a phenomenal athlete. He was playing against, Alabama's. He was playing against the, these top tier teams.
All the top teams.
And it translated to the NFL. He's NFL ready. He's, he just had to learn the playbook and learn the flow of the game. Once he learned that, it was all uphill for Jalen Ramsey. So to me, absolutely, depending where you go does kind of dictate where your draft position is. But it's like these guys like a Trey Lance that, go to these, these colleges that are like, did they have a college? Like who is that?
He's from the College of the United States of America? Like where he from again?
Right. And to make noise and to be even considered in the top 10, like shout out to a Trey Lance for that because he got the talent. And, sometimes, that notion can be put aside because of those Trey Lances. Say what you want about Carson Wentz. He got some mental stuff. He's not, IQ wise, he needs some help a little bit. I think if he really had a quarterback guru, he can kind of like talk with.
He had a quarterback guru, but the Eagles let him go, and they kept his the faker, the one who wasn't the one. Clearly, Peterson was not the one keeping that offense together or that team together.
Yeah, Frank Reich.
As soon as Frank Reich left, everything fell apart.
Yeah, yep. And guess who's now his head coach? Frank Reich. So
and look who they hired as their head coach.
Yeah. Yep. So it's gonna be. It's going to be fun. I tell you what, I can't wait for this draft. We got 8 days away, and it is going to be fun because with free agency and then the draft, and then, obviously there's only, I think, shout out to TA of Noble Sports. He told me that there was 12 teams that are actually going to go through OTAs and things like that. But we're going to have that. We're going to have, these rookie mini camps. We're going to have, training camp. We're going to start having some of these things. And I'm excited. Like, football is the best darn sports in America. I'm a football fan first and foremost. Then I'm a basketball fan. But, man, you get me some good football. I'm all for it. And shout out to David Webster with the $5 super chat. I got Slater over Panay. Sewell for that fact. See where I'm going with it. Sounds like y'all do. I do think Penei Sewell is the best offensive tackle. I think he's that anomaly with the with like a Trey Lance where you got to put respect on Penei Sewell. The dude could play right tackle and left tackle. He's super versatile. I'm sure he could probably play all 5 positions. I wouldn't put it past Penei Sewell. But if with the Penei Sewell, you got to be a power run team. Because he's like a power guy on the offensive line. With a Rashawn Slater, he's kind of a offensive power guy, where he's gonna power you and things like that on the offensive line. More so than try to finesse you or try to do different things. But with Rashawn Slater, you got to put respect on his name. He dominated, uh, uh, Chase Young. Like, you got to put respect on that guy because Chase Young was the rookie of the year in the on the defense in the National Football League, and Rashawn Slater put hands on him. But I mean, to me, Slater and Penei Sewell is a 1A, 1B. If one guy is not there, then you're getting still a bona fide dog on that offensive line.
Yeah, Slater's definitely my OT number one. I've been saying it for months. And it's not even about the competition. That's just like a cherry on top, in my opinion. This is like he has everything you want from the tackle other than the feet. I mean, other than the length. Like, he has great feet. He has the ability to mirror people. He doesn't have the length that you desire like that, but he has the feet to get him to the land. He got his feet. He has the feet to get him to the spot he needs to get to. He has hands to make up for his lack of length. And that's all you really need.
Facts. Because when you have good hand fight and you can fight good with your hands, guess what? I don't care if you have Tyrannosaurus Rex hands or you have, some Tayshaun Prince hands. You're gonna be able to, you're gonna be able to compensate for the short hands, for the Tyrannosaurus Rex hands, because I could just punch you, reset myself, get in closer a little bit, and guess what? If I'm closer now, I don't. It doesn't matter if I have T-Rex hands or like a Tayshaun Prince hands, or arms. I'm sorry, not hands, arm length. I'm going to be able to get you where I want you. I'm a firm believer. With offensive linemen, low man wins, and if you can be low and you can get good hand fights, and Rashawn Slater checks every box.
Yeah.
He checks every single box like a long-armed offensive tackle will. The only knock on him is he got short arms. Hey, that's not his fault. That really is not his fault.
And apparently some people were worried about his weight, but I saw him. He can push the weight. That man is strong.
Hey, you see, but that's the thing about the National Football League. It doesn't matter if you got weight issues or whatever. If you follow what the coaching staff gives you, you can manage that weight. Whether it's too big or not enough weight, you can still manage your weight if you listen to the head coach and the training staff and the nutrition coaches and stuff like that. Like, that's what they have the top of the best in the game for.
Listen, that aren't even 300 pounds.
Exactly. And they're still solid. They're still one of the top tier guys. So for me, weight issues, arm issues, things like that doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. To me, can you get the job done? That's what matters. Do I see you on the football field making those plays? That's what matters to me. And, Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater definitely check all the boxes.
Yeah, because I always find it interesting because I see a lot. They'll be like, well, Slater has the talent, but, he kind of got to make it for the technique, but he'll figure it out. And they'll go like, Slater, he kind of has short arms. Let's put him at guard. I'm like, wait, so you're going to put the guy who's already figured it out at guard, but not the guy who has to figure it out at tackle? I don't understand it.
Right. To me, I don't see Slater as a guard. Oh, well, he has short arms. He should be playing guard. No. He's a bona fide stud at tackle. He's played against top-tier edge rushers. That's won Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie in the National Football League. And he's been able to hold his own at right tackle. Like, what are you talking about? That's why I always get mad at these draft analysts. They're trying to be too smart than the draft. If the guy is solid at a position, why are you going to try to move that? I mean, if you want to kind of train him a little bit at guard a little bit, and if an injury happens and and things like that, maybe you shuffle the line like that. But just to say you got short arms, you're going to guard, no. You're trying to be too smart than the draft. Last regime that was too smart than the draft was those Boston turds named Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, and look what that got us. 6 picks. It got us 6 picks, no capital, and no real talent.
Yeah. I just want to get this later because I'm like, and you already know he's tested. We've seen him against the best guys. You see them against Chase Young. You see them against so many guys. And that's another thing about Sewell. I haven't seen Sewell against anybody good. He went against Bradley and I. Bradley not killed him. Bradley not was like what, a 6th-round pick? The best pass rusher in his conference is on his own team. The only real pass rusher in his conference is on his own team.
Yeah, but he had to go up against them in practice.
He probably was killing him in practice. Listen, I need to see them tape. I need to see that tape.
Come on, Toe.
He was probably in practice.
Hey, you know I'm a firm believer that film don't lie. I'm gonna put that as a hashtag. That film don't lie, because the film don't lie.
Yeah, the film don't lie. Because Slater just go out there and go like, "You're too small.
Yeah,
you're not fast enough. You're not athletic enough. I'm just gonna do my thing, and you're not getting past me." Yeah.
Now at 7, I don't think Penei Sewell is gonna be there. I think he goes to the Bengals. I'm definitely picking what do you call it? I'm definitely picking
I hope he's there.
Slater.
I hope the Bengals take him, and I hope the Dolphins take Chase so we can take Pitts.
I want Slater.
Complete.
But I want Slater. So I mean, I'm not gonna be mad if we go Pitts, but you know,
Slater's probably like my number 3 prospect in the draft.
See, for me, it's my number
Pitts
1.
Is number 1. That's the thing.
See, for me, it goes, well, if you stay at 7, no trade backs, I would go Slater first and then Kyle Pitts. Like, if both of them are there, I'm taking Slater still just because of the fact of our offensive line needs that. It needs it. It's not a want. It's not a wish list. It's not none of that. It's we need it. For right now and for the future. You know, I want to get a middle of the pack offensive line to be a top tier offensive line this year, especially with a new quarterback, especially, you know, with a new wide receiver core. You know, you need to keep your quarterback upright. You've seen what happened the last time a quarterback wasn't upright here in Detroit. He had 2 broken backs and then got traded.
True. I also meant to ask this, because here's my thing about the O-line, because I'm kind of like, I think the O-line is okay where it is right now. I understand the coaching staff wants to get to a point where they can, establish a run game and stuff. So, but I don't think it's a huge enough need that you have to take it at 1, because my thing about it is the O-line currently is an above average O-line. Our offensive line coach has already shown that he can coach up some top guys. Yeah. And my point is, I'm like, I'd rather just take a talented guy at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For me, it's always best player available. But I do want to send a special shout out to Travis Doyley on his $5 super chat. Says, who are some players you are looking in the next year's draft class? I'm looking at Spencer Rattler, quarterback, or Desmond Ridder, quarterback, and Chris Olave at wide receiver. Absolutely. I think if you could get Spencer Rattler and Chris Olave, hey, I'm all loving it. I am all loving that. Because I'm adding 2 wide receivers this year. I can add another one next year in Chris Olave. Man, come on now. Come on now. Hey, that's everything lovely. I'm huge on Spencer Rattler. I am super huge on Spencer Rattler. I'm going to break news right here, right now. Spencer Rattler, here's my bold prediction. Spencer Rattler is going to be the second coming of, you know who, Mr. $500 million, Patrick Mahomes.
It's too late, It's too late. It's too late, Travis. That guy's already coming. His name is Zach Wilson.
Hey, Zach Wilson, guys. Hey, he gonna be second coming too. Hey, we got a lot of second coming, but that goes to show.
Desmond Ridder could be the third coming, but I don't know about it. I don't know yet.
Well, see, I'm super high on Spencer Rattler. I did a few of Oklahoma's games the past couple seasons, and I'm loving every second of this man. Like, every time I see this man throw a football or hand it off or, take off and things like that, I'm like, dude, you're super smart for your own good. Like, you're ahead of college football. I'm super high on Spencer Rattler. Like Spencer Rattler out of Oklahoma is going to be a beast. I have him as my number one quarterback in next year's draft. A lot of people are going to say, well, what about Howell from UNC? Nope. I've seen talking heads in the legacy media that had the Detroit Lions first overall pick picking Howell from UNC. Nope. I want Spencer Rattler, and I want him now. Well, next year now. But I'm super high on Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I like Spencer Rattler. If I can get that guy in the 5th round, I'd be happy.
Oh, he ain't gonna make it past the first. He ain't gonna make it past the 10th pick in next year's draft.
I got him then. I guess I just don't got him then. Let me get Desmond Riddler. Let me get
Ritter ain't gonna be there past.
Hey, listen, I'll take Riddler wherever he's supposed to be going.
Hey, he ain't getting past the top 10 pick either. Desmond Ritter, no.
We gonna have a top 10 pick. We can take him.
Huh?
We gonna have a top 10 pick anyway. We going 0-16. Actually, no, 0-17.
Hey, I wouldn't. I mean, I can see that happening, but I don't want that to happen. I want to. I mean, hey, if we are, 6-9 or 7-8 or something like that, I'll be happy with this year. It's a tough schedule, and we have a lot of holes. If we could be at least 6 or 7 wins this year, I'm happy. I mean, it's still going to result in a top pick. But shout out to Travis Doyley again, says, I think Spencer Rattler will be like Kyler Murray. Ooh, that's a good comparison. That's definitely a good comparison. I can see that happening.
I don't know. Murray is fast.
I'm
not saying Rattler's slow, but Kyler Murray is like 4.3 speed fast. Like high, like low 4.4 speed fast. And I think he has a bigger arm than Rattler. I think Rattler.
Kyler Murray. I mean,
Murray got everything you want from a quarterback. Problem is, he's like 5'11".
See, Spencer Rattler was Mr. Arizona, so I already know I got a little bit of bias in this. Spencer Rattler to me, man, is a bona fide first overall pick, kind of like Kyler Murray. Man, if you had either Kyler Murray or Spencer Rattler, you're going to be winning football games. That's point blank, period. I say the same thing with even Desmond Ritter, too. If you have Desmond Ritter, you're going to be winning football games. These guys are not slouches. These guys are going to be top 10 picks.
Yeah.
And for the crazy thing is, if they even fall past the 5th overall pick, and say they are like 8, 9, or 10, you're actually going to get a real quarterback at 8, 9, or 10. I know a lot of teams, they'll draft a quarterback at 8th overall or 9th overall or 10th overall, and sometimes they don't pan out. You draft one of those guys at that position, they're going to pan out. That's hands down. But I don't even think that they're going to make it past I think Ritter and Rattler are going to be in the top 3. Depending on who else comes,
be some random quarterback that come out of nowhere.
You see, but
it's always that guy. It's always the Joe Burrow. It's always the.
Well, yeah, but I mean
what's his name? Zach Wilson. Is always the. I don't even think Kyler Murray was projected to be first overall pick when he came out.
Zach Wilson, when he first came, no, he was not projected in the top.
I don't even think Kyler Murray. He was projected to be the first one until neither was Baker, because he came from he came from Texas Tech, I think.
I think
it's a lot of guys. It's always that one quarterback that pops out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, barring that, I mean, I still think, but I mean, Spencer Rattler, he's from the SEC. You already know SEC guys are going to be up there in draft classes. I mean, that's the SEC, for Christ's sake. It speaks for its own. It's the SEC. It's just like a Big Ten. You're gonna get a top tier guy from the Big Ten, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defensive guy. It doesn't matter. Offensive line. You're gonna get a top tier guy. Same thing with SEC. Same thing with Pac-12. You're going to get top tier guys, in there. Even ACC, you're going to get top tier guys. But Spencer Rattler, man, is a beast. I've seen film. Shout out to TA Noble Sports. He showed me film of his high school. I seen film on his high school. I seen film in college. Like, the dude is a beast. Spencer Rattler is going to be a top pick.
Oh yeah, I just wonder if he's going to be good.
He's going to be very good. I think he could even be Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, well, Offensive Rookie Year is such a quarterback dominant award.
It really is. Well, that's even not even in rookie. That's even with the actual NFL awards too.
Well, like the offensive, like other than MVP and Offensive Rookie of the Year, most of the time you don't really see QB because most of the Offensive Player awards, other than Offensive Rookie, like Offensive Player of the Year, they'll give that stuff to like wide receivers and running backs because I think they understand that most of the time they're not going to be the guys that win MVP, so they kind of just need an award that's for them. Like I think who won it last year? I think it was Derrick Henry won it last year. I think Michael Thomas won it another year. Most of the time it's like for a position other than QB because I think they understand that most of the time, most of the really big awards like Offensive Rookie of the Year, MVP, that's QB's award.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Saquon and they're just like, well, we'll give it to you.
Oh, absolutely. And man, I love this. Is my favorite time of the year, is the draft. So like, it's just like it's like Christmas every year. You get that brand new toy. So it's like for me. I think Tone got booted out. But for me, it's like you get these new shiny toys, and then you'll get these rookies. For me, like, especially on the defensive side. So, like, for the defense, hopefully Tone can get back in. Hold on. Okay, there we go. What's going on, Tone?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I accidentally clicked out of the tab. I clicked on it, and I was like, man, where'd the sound go?
But, especially with defensive guys, the last defensive player that really has won an MVP was out of New York, Taylor. Oh my gosh, I forgot his first name. Oh my gosh, the 1990s Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor?
Lawrence Taylor. There we go. I appreciate that, Tone. He was the last defensive MVP. Like, they go so hard on quarterbacks and stuff like that. Like, it's pathetic. Like, you got all these rules to where these quarterbacks look good because of these rules. Where you got these defensive players battling through the rules, battling through this, battling through that, but they don't even get the recognition. And you got some studs in the National Football League. You got Myles Garrett. You got, I know it's past his prime, but you have a J.J. Watt. You got a Joey Bosa. You got a Nick Bosa. You got
Aaron Donald should have won an MVP.
Exactly. You got an Aaron Donald. You got who else? You got Chase Young. Like, I mean, you got so much talent on the defensive side of the ball that don't even get recognition because of these quarterbacks.
What year was it? Like, Aaron Donald, I think it was 2018. What was the year that the Rams made it to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think that was 18. I think that was 18.
That year was like the greatest year I've ever seen for a defensive player ever. Because like
but that's like normal for him.
I'm saying, like, he put up like 100+ pressures as a D tackle.
Yeah,
I think he either put up 20 sacks or almost as a D tackle, and he was double teamed like over 50% of the time. He did all that at a position that gets less sacks and less pressures.
Yep.
While being
defensive tackle,
double teamed over 50% of the time. He was unstoppable that season. Like, that was like the peak I've ever seen, especially with the tackle play.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's nobody ever reaching that level again. That was even like a crazy level even for him.
Yeah. I don't know. And there's nothing crazy about Aaron Donald. Like, that dude is a freak athlete.
Well, everything for Aaron Donald is kind of like an everyday thing.
Facts.
It's like, oh, there, Aaron Donald is way better than everybody again. It's not. I guess we just gotta accept it.
Hey, that's all
It's
facts. And that's what makes me mad about, being too smart than the draft. You picked Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald. Like, stop being smarter than the draft. Let the draft board fall to you and pick the best player available, regardless of position.
Exactly. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, the Aaron Donald type guy.
Hey, I don't know if I don't know if I can pass up on one of the best offensive tackles. Though, I mean,
I'm willing to pass up on one of the best offensive tackles if I can get a talented guy later in the draft. I know there's going to be a bunch of talented guys that fall.
There's Brady Christensen. There's.
I'm gonna say, if you want to take a guy in a second, you probably get a Liam Eichenberg, because you don't really need an amazing offensive tackle. You just need a good one. And there's going to be a ton of good ones because you already got Decker, you have Jonah Jackson, and you have Ragnow. So your base is already set. You just need to plug in some other pieces.
Yeah.
Right. And even if you want to, if you want to draft a guy in a second, you could either start them. You could start, if you draft Eichenberg, you could play him at guard, or you could put him at tackle and put Crosby at guard. A lot of people actually think Crosby would be better at guard. He just kind of has to play tackle because tackle's a bigger need, and we have better guards than tackles.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to offensive guards, for the Lions, it better be Stenberg and Jonah Jackson starting. It better be, because I want to see both of those guys start. Next to Frank Ragnow, next to Taylor Decker, and whoever is going to be that right tackle. My hopes is a Rashawn Slater. You get that 5 starting lineup at the offensive line, there's nobody that's going to stop that. You go, and now you become the Dallas Cowboys of a few years back, where you got the number 1 offensive line in the league. Now you got the Seattle Seahawks type offensive line when they went back to back in the Super Bowl. Now you got the top offensive line that the Kansas City Chiefs once had. Prior to this year's decimation of it. That's the one thing that goes first. When you're trying to pay players, especially if you have a top tier defense, the offensive line is the first one to go. And when you're winning games, you're not going to get those types of talent. That's why if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers at, 24, I'm going Tevin Jenkins. I'm not even thinking twice about it.
I don't know if he's going to fall to 24, though.
I think so, because you got Christian Durshaw that's going to...
Teams are falling in love with him. Because
but you got...
teams about... I mean, there's some people worried about his arm length, but everybody's going man, he's such a nasty run blocker, and he does this, that, and the third. He's probably the best. He's probably the third best offensive tackle in this draft. I think a lot of teams are falling in love with him. Because I've already heard that teams are kind of falling out of love with Sewell, especially teams I heard the Dolphins aren't really fans of Sewell.
Yeah. Right guard, Vitae moving from tackle, Crosby at right tackle. No, see, David Webster, I want to move on from Hal Vitae, and after this year, Terrell Crosby's going to be a free agent. So you're not going to have a Crosby, you're not going to have a Hal Vitae here in a couple years, if not next year. I could definitely see Vitae probably get moved next year. You're going to take a little bit more of a cut
in after next year, because after next year, because the line signed into a 3-year contract, so that's when his cap hit is going to be the lowest. I mean his cap penalty is going to be the lowest. Yeah,
he has to at least do 2 years in Detroit before we can really officially move on from him, and that'd be this year. This year is the second year. So
Crosby making some money in free agency.
Well, yeah, he could definitely. He's probably my favorite swing tackle. He's not your everyday starter, but you need a guy in a pinch. You're gonna plug in Terrell Crosby. I like this kid. He needs to clean up some things. Stop being stupid and picking up boneheaded penalties. But I said the same thing about Taylor Decker, and he got paid.
Yeah.
And he actually cleaned it up after he got paid. So, for me, shoot,
Crosby's making $2 million this year.
Yeah,
which
that's
isn't
crazy.
That's
crazy
not.
because he needs to be paid more.
No. But here's why that's crazy. He's on his rookie contract.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's crazy.
And he's still
free agency yet.
Yeah,
he's gonna make some money in free agency.
Oh yeah,
maybe around 10. I don't know. Maybe around 8-10 mil. Teams are showing they will overpay for tackle help.
Yeah.
Like look at Nate Solder. Look what the Giants gave up for Nate Solder. That was like, I understand overpaying for tackle help. I understand.
Yeah.
But that was one of the worst deals I have ever seen in my life. They wanted to cut him. He wasn't even. They didn't even know if he was going to be a good player. The next year, the team was like, I don't know if he's a good player. How you sign a guy and the next year you're kind of like, I don't know if he's a good player. Not that he's not worth it, that he's a good player.
Yeah. But, that just goes to show, like you said, teams are willing to overspend on top tier quality players like that. What's going on, Just Beauty? She said, "What up, Trox? What's going on, Just Beauty? What's going on, Barb?"
You want a sleeper offensive lineman? Trey Smith is probably your guy, or Deontay Brown.
Yeah.
The problem is Trey Smith. He got the injury history. Like
that's one thing you can't afford. You can't afford when it comes to offensive line. You can't afford injury guys.
Like he's the true, like how we talk about what's his name? I was talking about him earlier. How we talk about the corner.
Farley.
Yeah, how we talk about Farley's injury history. That's Trey Smith.
Yeah,
Trey Smith was the one with like the legit injury history.
Yeah,
blood clot. They found blood clots in his lungs and stuff like that.
See, he needs to focus.
I'm gonna say he's like the real injury we don't know guy. And, him and the other guy out of Miami. I forget his name. Phillips.
Oh, Jalen Phillips. Yeah. And see, that's the same thing. It like with guys like that, like it really makes me have like horrible flashbacks. We had Ndamukong Kansu, we had Nick Fairley, and things like that, and you went and picked tight end over the best defensive tackle, and come to find out, one left in free agency, the other one left in free agency also, but then found out that he had a hole in his heart and had a heart murmur. And it cost him his career. And you failed to address that defensive line. Injuries, you might be able to spend high on them in the draft, but then if they have injury history, that's a high draft pick that you're not going to get back. So if I'm going to pick an offensive tackle or something like that, they got to have a clean. Even defensive line, they have to have a clean, track record when it comes to health. I'll take you broke your ankle or stuff like that. Okay, they can recover from stuff like that, especially in today's medicine. But when you got a hole in your lungs or a hole in your heart or a hole in your kidney or something like that, I'm shying away from that. Go take care of your health, and then we'll figure something out. But if you fail at stuff like that, it sets your franchise back years. Because if you have a top tier, pick, say number 7, and you take a guy, that has a long history of injuries, and he doesn't pan out, that just sets you back years. So for me personally, I'm not going to take my chances, especially in the first, say, 4 rounds. Give me 4 or 5 guys ahead, and then go and address a guy that maybe would have injury history. Travis Joy says, thoughts on Walker Little. Hey, I love me some Walker Little. If they go linebacker, or if they go, say, Kyle Pitts, or they go Jamar Chase or something like that, I'm definitely looking at a Walker Little at that point. Because I think he'd be one of the better picks, say, in the second or third round. I think he'd be one of the better picks. that you can get at offensive tackle.
Yeah, Walker Little is an interesting case. You know, uh, I heard he's getting like first round, second round
Yep.
considerations, and if he was there in the fourth,
Oh, that's a
hey,
steal.
I love him.
That's a steal. If he's there in the fourth, that's a steal.
If he's there in the first 3 rounds, I mean,
Even if he's there at a third, that's still a steal.
I mean, because the first 3 rounds, I can get Raduns, I can get Eichenberg, I can get Slater, Sewell, can't forget Darrisaw, dude.
Christian Darrisaw, yep.
Say Jenkins. It's so many guys in the draft I can get that I have over Walker Little. And it's mostly just because of the fact that this draft is so deep at tackle.
Yeah.
He gets moved now. And also because we haven't seen him in 2 years.
Yeah. That does hurt draft stock. Especially since you haven't seen him in 2 years. Like, okay, if you missed out last year due to COVID and stuff like that, and you had a stellar, year prior, okay, you might be where you're supposed to be, or you might drop down a little bit. But if you're not there in 2 years, like, teams kind of forget about you, and then you really slide. So I definitely agree with that, Tone.
Because he was originally
he's originally a top tier guy. Yeah,
number 2 tackle coming to this class. But we've also seen that how quickly the board will change. I forget what his name was. There was an old tackle out of Washington. He was like a really big guy, like 6'8", 330 plus or something like that. And coming into last year's class, he was supposed to be the top guy.
Yeah.
And then he went undrafted.
Yeah. Hey,
injuries and stuff.
We totally forgot about Alex Leatherwood too. Shout out to Bryce S.
I don't know how to feel about Leatherwood.
But he's still a top tier talent where you'd probably pick him over a Walker Little.
Because when I watch Leatherwood, I'm kind of like, man, this guy's feet aren't that great. And then I watch him against like Azeez Ojulari. I'm like, what? His feet look great right here. I'm like, but this is the Senior Bowl, and then Quincy Roche is tearing him a new one.
Yeah,
killed him. Every time he matched up against Leatherwood, smoked him. Wasn't even fair.
Hey, he's on a skillet. Chrissy was Roche had him on a skillet.
Nobody else, but as soon as he matched up against Leatherwood, all you heard was Debo music in the background.
But I mean, you still got him in there. He's definitely a second or third.
A lot of teams want to throw him at guard. A lot of teams want to throw Jalen Mayfield, another guy forgot. Teams want to throw him at guard. Some teams want to throw Jenkins at guard, but we got to ignore those teams. Some people want to throw Slater at guard, but want to keep Sewell at tackle, which I also don't understand.
Hey, we got Greg Whitworth says Clemson alum needing a oh my god. Hey, absolutely. Shout out to you, Greg. What's going on, Plan B? Says I want the best fit right tackle with the first pick. Absolutely. I want Rashawn Slater there.
Well, if you want the best fit right tackle, then it would probably be Jenkins. Because since the Lions,
I do like Jenkins though.
Since the Lions want to be a run team, and guys like Decker's more of a power guy.
Decker's more of a pass protector guy.
Yeah, but like in the run game.
Oh yeah, power. He
fits more as a power guy.
Yep.
Ragnar can do both. Big V's a power guy. So will pretty much all of them are, except for like Jonah Jackson, and even then he's kind of strong. So if you want the best fit right tackle, it would probably be dang, I just said his name.
Tevin Jenkins.
Tevin Jenkins, yes.
Hey, I love me some Tevin Jenkins.
Jalen Mayfield is kind of like if Tevin Jenkins came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like he went at Thomas D and decided I'm not going to come out this year.
Yeah. See, I think Tevin Jenkins and a lot of these other guys, if they would have been in any other draft class, they would probably be a top tier pick. Probably a first round draft pick where like Tone, you were saying, this year it's such a deep class at tackle, that some of these guys that were supposed to be first round picks are going to be in the second and third and fourth rounds.
Yeah. Tevin Jenkins, it is funny because he don't look threatening, right?
He doesn't. He does not look threatening.
Seen a picture of Tevin Jenkins. Like, look at this man. He does not look threatening. You walk to this man, you run into him on the football field, and you run fast and away. Only thing I really have a question about Tevin Jenkins is, what does he do against top competition?
Yeah.
Right? Because I know what Slater can do. I don't really know what Derrn can do. I don't really know what Sewell can do. And the best player I saw him against was Ronnie Perkins. And I only saw him against Ronnie Perkins for one rep. And Ronnie Perkins sent that man to the moon, right? And because after that, it's like Perkins didn't line up against him for a while, and then all of a sudden, Jenkins was out the rest of the game. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I want to see that battle. Because if he would have got beat up by Ronnie Perkins, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe he's not that amazing against the top guys, because he killed Osai, but Osai's not that good. Osai was a linebacker last year.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
he put Osai on skates the entire game. Like, he wasn't just 1 or 2. Man, hey, for real. Like, I feel bad for Osai after that game. Like, I'm just like, bruh. Hey, turn in your pads. You got owned.
Every time you see Tevin Jenkins, you just see that one picture of him looking like he wouldn't do nothing to nobody. You just see the highlight reel of him just giving Osai the work.
Hey, and you know what? He has a nasty attitude. What do I say about nasty attitude that fits a Dan Campbell type of guy? He's a guy that, will rip somebody's kneecap off.
Yeah, that's what I'm
he
saying.
Even tried to rip. He even tried to rip off Osai's kneecaps when he ran him out of bounds that game too. I mean, he didn't quit. He played literally till the end of that whistle.
So I was looking at the coach like, come on, coach.
Man.
Switch from side, man. You don't see what's happening over here?
Right. Hey.
Help me out. Help me.
Hey, that probably is the reason why Texas fired their head coach. Like, bro, y'all didn't adjust nothing. But yeah, I definitely, I was thinking about doing a bona fide film study on Tevin Jenkins. I love this kid. And it's not just the Texas game that makes me fall in love with this kid. Like, he has multiple games of this dominance. He does have some games where, he does look suspect, but if you trade back and say add more picks or stuff like that, say maybe to 19, say maybe to, in the 20s, I'm definitely looking at Tevin Jenkins at that standpoint. Best available player, regardless of position. Tevin Jenkins is your guy. Nasty attitude. I think he would mesh well with Logan Stenberg. He'd mesh well with Frank Ragnow. He'd mesh well with Jonah Jackson's and a Taylor Decker.
Now, if you want to. Now we always talked about the injury guys, but of course there's the player. I don't know about this guy's personality guys, and there's a few of them. This Micah, because what he was doing, and I found out the other day. Apparently, what they said he was doing was as a freshman, which he walked in as a freshman doing that. That's crazy. But if you want to know the real guy who got taken off of draft boards because of his attitude, it's Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah,
because he has he came from LSU. I just found the other day that apparently he came from LSU. And he left because LSU has so many cornerbacks. He's like, man, I'm not going to start here.
Yeah.
So he went to Kentucky, killed it. Looks like a first round prospect. Problem is, I think apparently he hit his coach.
You can't do that.
I heard that apparently he likes to rap, and usually that wouldn't be a huge problem. But there was a guy last year by the name of Isaiah Wilson.
Yeah.
And he also liked to rap. And he also has some character concerns. The teams is kind of like, the Titans was like, we'll take this guy in the first. and he did not work out at all.
Yeah.
He's not even on the team right now. Last time I checked. Right.
Yeah.
So he's hurting Joseph's stock a lot because teams gonna go like, well, look what just happened last year with Isaiah Wilson. We might be able to get this guy. He might go undrafted. He has like first round talent. I'll get him to Detroit. I'm like, listen, man, you can come to Detroit, hit coaches all you want because they're gonna hit you back. All right.
Hey, it might hurt double time. You hit a coach here.
Try to hit Campbell. He gonna be y'all gonna be running hands in the parking lot. Just know. I'm gonna say, hey, listen, he's like a dog on the leash. No, he's like a dog that's off the leash. You can get him on the leash, man. You got a dude. You got a really good player. He's big. He can run, cover, high effort guy.
Yeah.
And that's a guy you probably don't have to get him in the first 3 rounds. A lot of teams are taking him off the draft board.
Because of that.
Exactly. I'm willing to take a chance on a guy like that. I can get a guy like that in day 3. I'm running to the podium and go like, listen, man, I'm gonna need you not to be doing what you was doing in college. You try to hit one of us, we will be hitting you back. And
all facts.
Just know.
That is all facts. You know, I mean, for me, man, for me, like there's 2 offensive line in the first 2 rounds I'm looking at. Slater and Jenkins. When it comes to linebackers, you definitely got to get Zaven Collins, and you definitely got to go maybe after a Nick Bolton, a Jabril Cox, or a Derek Barnes. I think if you get, the goal is to get the best 6 players if there's no trading. If there's no trades that happen for the Lions in the entire 2021 NFL drafts, the goal is to get 6 best players. So for me, this is a quick synopsis. Is okay. First round, Rashawn Slater. Second round, Zaven Collins. Third round, either Jabril Cox or Nick Bolton. And then I'm getting Tylan Wallace. I'm going to go get Scary Terry, Tamarion Terry out of Florida State. Then I'm going to go get Marvin Wilson with the 153 pick. You do that, and I guarantee you are going to be winning a lot of football games. That is the best 6 guys available. Now, the goal is to get those 6 guys now. Because Marvin Wilson is definitely going to help plug up that middle. It was a gaping hole. Slater, is the best offensive tackle in this draft outside of Penei Sewell. Then you got, Tylan Wallace and Scary Terry, a 1-2 punch. You still got Quintez Cephas from last year. Now you're starting to form, your young core of Detroit Lions. I didn't pick a quarterback in that synopsis. I didn't go, Now, one guy I am looking for, and all you guys that follow me since Full Flats on the Cadillac, y'all know how high I am on Nick Bawden. Nick Bawden was the creme de la creme in my life. Like, the dude was a beast.
Nick Bawden, yeah.
Yeah, Nick Bawden, the fullback.
How are you feeling you're going to talk about? You talking about, is he a guy at Notre Dame?
No.
No. Is he a guy out of Miami?
No.
Is he out of Florida? I mean, Ole Miss.
Nope.
Who?
I am talking about Michigan's own Ben Mason. Go after him. Go after Ben Mason. He's one of the better fullbacks in this draft class. You could get him in like the 6th round pick. Hey, go give him Kerryon Johnson and pick up a third and a.
If you want a guy who's gonna be like Nick Bawden,
I just want a replacement for a fullback. I want a fullback on my squad.
Well, if you want like a fullback, NFL don't really use fullbacks anymore. If you want a fullback, H-back, whatever you want,
yeah.
Check out Tommy Trouble from Notre Dame. That
Hold
man
on,
is a monster.
Let
And the
me
thing
write
about
his name down. Hold on.
Tommy Trouble is such a
Oh, Treble?
yeah.
Oh, he's the well, they got him as a tight end, don't they?
Yeah, but like he's like 242, so he's probably gonna be an H back when he gets
Yeah.
to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the few dudes. If you type in his name on YouTube, the first thing that will pop up for him is blocking highlights.
Okay.
Like the dude is an amazing blocker. He's been shooting up draft boards apparently. Like I think he ran like a 4.6 or something.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Kittle, but I don't think he's ever gonna be that because Kittle ended up with the best coach in the NFL. The only thing about him is I feel like Detroit, the Lions scheme that the Lions are probably gonna run, it probably isn't gonna be the best for him. He's one of those guys, like one of those outside zone guys that fits. Like for example, when the Packers took Josiah DeGore last year, who they overdrafted for, should have been a third round pick, but he fits that scheme because they like to run a lot of outside zones, so they need guys like that.
Yeah.
H-backs as tight ends who can get out of space and block on the move with athleticism. And the Lions don't sound like they're going to be that team. The Lions think they're going to be an inside zone / power team. And I don't think that would be the best fit for him, even though
he's one of the better.
I just think he's so great. So
Yeah, see, and that's why I was going with Ben Mason. Like, if you get a late day 3 guy and he's able to stay healthy and do his job, that's a win for me. That's the one thing that we did with Nick Bawden. Like, he was a late day 3 guy and he can't stay healthy. He can't do his job on IR every single year. So it's time to move on from him. As high as I was last year, what did I tell you guys all? I said, if he gets injured this year, I'm done with him. He got injured yet again. I am done with this guy. The talent was there. His health just isn't.
The bones weren't. That was the
Yep.
The talent
Facts.
was there. The bones weren't. Them
Facts.
Bones made of glass.
Man, hey, they made a paper. You breathe on it, it's ripping. Man, hey.
You need a Frank Ragnow guy.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, you go get a Ben Mason out of Michigan. He knows the state. He knows, the fan base here. So, why not? Like I said, it's a late round flyer. You could go trade Kerryon Johnson, go say, get a 3rd round pick and a late 6th or a late 7th round pick. Go select Ben Mason, and there you go. And you get a 3rd round pick. Say next year, or maybe a 4th round pick next year. So you're adding capital. You got rid of Kerryon Johnson, who really has no place here, unless you throw a Kerryon Johnson at fullback. That could be an option since he's so good at pass blocking. But as far as that, I mean, that's somebody I'm definitely looking at is Ben Mason at fullback. And if he falls as an undrafted guy, I'm running to his agent and said, "Hey, come here. Whatever he wants, come here." Because like I said, hey, worst case scenario, you got good fullback competition. But may the best man win. You would have Bawden, you would have Kabinda, and you'll have say Ben Mason. Hey, there's going to be one guy that's going to make the squad out of those 3. Which one is going to make it? Here's the food hanging.
They're going to draft a tight end. Actually, you know what? They're going to draft
Well,
Pitts.
I mean,
they're going to draft Pitts and use Hawkinson as the H-back when they want to run.
Oh, come on now. I could see that, though. I could definitely see something like that.
That's what killed the Cardinals. They was running play action with Hawk as the H-back. You can't line a safety up on him. He's an H-back. Can't line a quarterback on him. He's an H-back. Lined up, I think it was Jordan Hicks on him.
Yeah.
Ran play action, slip out the backfield, killed him. It was like 20-plus yard play.
Yeah. Why can't we use somebody like Hill as a fullback?
You could. Most of especially at most of the Lions tight ends could be used as like a fullback / H-back.
Yeah. Well, even
a great blocking tight end.
Yeah, even like a Jalen Reeves Maben can be a fullback. You don't technically have to draft a fullback, but for me, I would personally want to,
I was
just for
figuring
the
they would just because they want to run so much.
yeah, and that's another reason. That's another reason why I'm like, okay, you gotta address it, because for me, I want to be a run first team. Because if you run first, people are gonna load up that box. You got some speedsters and TJ Hawkinson as well. Guess what's gonna be open? You're gonna get the pass every single time, and you're gonna start moving the change. Look at how the Kansas City Chiefs operate. They run first, and then whenever they're available for the pass, they'll pass it. And they move the chains. That's why they're so dominant outside of their underrated defense as well. Look at every single championship Tom Brady had. Yeah, he might be known for throwing the football, but guess what? Every time he's won a Super Bowl, he's also had a pretty good, solid run game, taking pressure off of him. Late in games, able to run the football to kill clock. That's why I say I want to be a run-first team. So if I got to get a fullback on the squad that can stay healthy, or maybe move an actual piece to fullback, because I'm not a fan of Kabinda there. I'm not really a fan of Nick Bawden anymore due to his health issues. Go address it. I mean, the last real... Well, we had two real fullbacks on the squad. We had Burton... Michael Burton, who we let go to Chicago and now is with the New Orleans Saints, has also familiarity with Dan Campbell. So be on the lookout for something of that sort. And then you have what do you call it? Jerome Felton. Jerome Felton got Matthew Stafford, number 9, that 5,000 yards because you had a decent run game. You had a decent tight end group, and you had Kelvin Joseph. Like, you had outlets where you kind of could take a little pressure away from Kelvin, and Kelvin was able to obviously be Kelvin Johnson. I mean, that dude, first ballot Hall of Fame. Or wait, is he first ballot or is that second ballot?
I think it was. Is he in yet?
Yes, this year he's in.
Oh, then his first ballot did.
Okay, first ballot. Okay, yeah, so he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, he obviously was the key reason why number 9 got the 5,000 yards. But it was because you had an outlet. Hey, Kelvin's double, triple, quadruple, or even has 11 guys on him. You got Jerome Felton, who actually had solid yards. I think he was averaging about 500 yards passing and like 200 yards rushing on the year. I mean, yes, it's nothing to laugh about, but I mean, those 500 yards passing though was actually pretty doggone good because that took pressure off of who's going to get the ball. When I get a team where I have to guess where it's going to happen, I'm going to be on my toes. When I got you on your toes, I could pick you apart. Where if you know what I'm doing, you could get to the spot and pick me apart. So, that's why I say, like, I don't know. I'm a high guy on fullbacks, and that's just due to the fact that I want to run the football. I really want to run the football and take this team to the next level. We haven't been able to be a run-first team since Barry Sanders. Let's call a spade a spade. So if we can do that, I'll be a happy camper. I mean, you're looking at, the Arizona Cardinals. What do? They're an air raid system. But what helps that air raid system? A good, solid run game. A good quarterback that can take off. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And a good head coach.
Which they also don't have.
Well, they do have,
I mean, Clifford, he's a good offensive coordinator.
Hey, but it's an air raid system. He's the best coach for that system.
I heard he's supposed to be on the chopping block apparently. Because some people had
he is, but yeah. See,
and then the teams looking they kind of didn't play up to the talent we thought they were because everybody had the Cardinals as a sleeper.
But they got injured.
True.
They got injured. See, and that's the thing I have about these people that want to be smarter than everybody. Okay, year one, he had to see what he had. He didn't even have his guys. Okay, he inherited a Josh Rosen. You know, he didn't even have his guys there. You know, this last year you had COVID. You know, so when you started getting your guys, you couldn't really get them acclimated. Okay, now this year, now you got real talent on both sides of the football, outside of corner and running back, and definitely that is going to be something that will be addressed the first two rounds.
Sign, Connor?
Yes, Connor? Yes. Yeah, they did re-sign him, but I still think that they are going to go possibly, if they don't go running back either in the second round, I have them going probably offensive line. Boost up that offensive line so your James Conner, so your Chase Edmonds can play to their likes.
Well, I'm looking at this schedule. I forgot about that. You know, it's messed up. Even as a Lions fan, I forgot they lost to the Lions. And if I'm not a Lions fan, I would go like, y'all lost to the Lions?
Oh yeah,
with that talent, and I thought they did. They lost to the 49ers too, which is a huge one. That's the one I think I heard about that.
Well, I mean, that's the one I heard about. Hey, let me call the timeout first. In defense for the San Francisco 49ers,
I mean, they have Kyle Shanahan, so it's understandable.
No, it was not even won by Kyle Shanahan. That game was solely won by the New York Jets head coach, Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh got that team so hyped, so ready to play football that day. I don't care who they would have played. That game was circled on their calendar.
Yeah.
That game specifically.
I think it was probably more Shanahan because Shanahan also proved over time of the year that the 49ers not even just on defense, on offense, they was waking up to play. Like when they beat like the Rams and when they beat the Cardinals, I was kind of like, wow. They beat the Rams twice. They beat the Cardinals. And a lot of other games were really close until like other than like when they got destroyed by like the Packers and like the Dolphins. But like with as much injuries as they had, like the amount of one-score games they had, you know what's crazy? Somebody was actually talking about this like 2 years ago. It'd be 2 years ago. When the 49ers first made the Super Bowl. And it was talking about, they was actually comparing, like, it was a list of teams in one-score games. And the 49ers, they had, like, the most. And it was kind of like, because one-score games in the NFL are kind of like, those are either way. Because those are kind of luck-based, but it's also team-based. And then some people's like, they don't know if the 49ers are going to be able to keep up with that. And they didn't, although some of that was injuries.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of one-score games. Kyle Shanahan, best head coach in the league.
I don't know about all that now.
Oh, yeah, best head coach in the league. Bill Belichick, you cool and all.
You think Kyle Shanahan is the best head coach in the league?
Oh, yeah. What he does is insane. Like, cause
you do know that he did bleep up the Super Bowl for the Falcons and for the 49ers. You do realize that. Same guy.
He messed up the Super Bowl for the 49ers. I'll put that on Jimmy Garoppolo. Now the Falcons.
Who's the head coach? You go and have a stellar run game that was dominating. And then in the second half, you want to think that you're the second coming of the greatest passing league or passing team on the market. No.
But the run game, Trox, when you playing against the Chiefs and you feel them breathing down your neck, you can't just keep running because it's like we gotta put up points.
Hey, you were in the lead and you got in that lead by the run game. If you limit a quarterback from being on the field, it doesn't matter what the score is because guess what? I'm limiting points.
Yeah, because at some point the Chiefs would go like, we're gonna stack the box And you could try to keep running, but it's not going to work. And the 49ers started passing, and it was dudes wide open. Jimmy G was just missing guys left and right, and I'm like, man.
Let's just put it this way. With all the guys healthy, I have to agree with One Pride 40. Kyle Shanahan's on the hot seat. I think he's more on the hot seat than what do you call it? Cliff Kingsbury. Yes, I think Kyle Shanahan is more on a hot seat than Cliff Kingsbury. Now, I don't think either coaches get fired. But I think to start off, I think Shanahan's more on the hot seat.
I disagree here's my thing. 2 years ago, he was in the Super Bowl with the 49ers, right? And there was a team that nobody really thought was going to be a Super Bowl team. Like, nobody thought 49ers was going to be a Super Bowl team. Came in, Super Bowl team next year, got hit with a ton of injuries. I mean, I think Sherm got injured. Let's not forget.
Everybody
was out for the year.
Yeah, everybody was injured.
Jimmy Garoppolo was in and out of the lineup. Kittle was injured. Like, they got hit with a bunch of injuries.
Yeah, but the thing that led a lot of their
still got up every single game and played.
But guess what? Was that more so Robert Saleh, or was that the actual head coach?
I give it to
I think it was
because they was doing it on both sides of the ball.
See, I think it was what do you call it? How were they doing on both sides of the ball when they had the top 15 pick? They were in the bottom half of the league.
I mean, both offensive defensively wise, they were in the bottom half of the league.
They had what, the 12th overall what do you call it? I mean, granted, yeah, okay, I'll give it to the injuries. I'll give a lot of that to the injuries. But in the same token, a lot of that, though, came from Robert Saleh, the hype man that he is. Like, I think he had guys wanting to go through brick walls for it. He was the Dan Campbell of Dan Campbell before Dan Campbell. Like, he got guys ready to go through brick walls for.
I mean, a lot of Saleh's success was a product of Shanahan.
I don't.
Because
he was doing the stuff over with the Seattle Seahawks. So
Shanahan's been doing this for years. It's not this is his first rodeo.
Well, as head coach,
Super Bowl, as an offensive coordinator,
but as a head coach, this is his first rodeo.
Sure.
But I mean,
but he's been looking pretty nice in his first rodeo.
I mean, I will say he doesn't need much to be successful. He is a good offensive mind. I'll give him credit where credit's due. But for me, 2 mess ups in Super Bowl histories, like, also, is that really players, or is that actual him?
Also, here's what I also say: I'd rather take a coach who can get my team to the Super Bowl and may not be able to win it for me than take a coach who can't get me anywhere near the playoffs. And there's a whole bunch of coaches that can't get you nowhere near the playoffs. That won't have you even sniffing the Super Bowl. I'd rather deal with that than have to deal with not making it at all.
I mean, if you put it like that, absolutely. But in the same token, Cliff Kingsbury will get this team to probably to the Super Bowl. if it's not Tampa Bay, it's the Arizona Cardinals. And I think that right there, bold prediction, Troxel Sports Talk live on air at 8:54. We got 6 minutes left of the show on April 21st, 2021. The AFC or the NFC title game is going to be either the Packers and the Cardinals, Packers and the Buccaneers, or it will be the Arizona Cardinals and the Buccaneers, or the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers. It's going to be one of those 4 things that will happen. The Arizona Cardinals are way too doggone talented to not be in consideration for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, they're too talented to not be in consideration. But I have there's really 2 big questions for me with the Cardinals. Number one, what Kyler Murray doing? Kyler Murray took a step back last year. I expected him to take a step forward.
Look at his offensive line, though. His offensive line is not that good.
It is not that good, but it was,
and he's still doing.
But
he's still doing his thing, though.
It wasn't that good last year either. The year before that either.
Yeah, and he's still doing his thing.
Because and honestly, well, it's weird because the offense is kind of meant to be, so he's supposed to have a good offensive line. And last year it wasn't that great. But at the same token, I always figure this, like, especially with quarterbacks, you can always, even in the worst situations, there's still stuff to take away, right? Like, look at Sam Darnold. A lot of people hate Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold had one of the worst situations I've ever seen in his life. They don't give him that benefit. He had one of the worst head coaches. They took away his best wide receivers. His only starting caliber offensive lineman was last year, and that was Mekhi Becton, right? And so I just don't like I don't see him getting that benefit. I don't see a lot of people getting that benefit. I think Murray, he has problems throwing over the middle of the field. Now, part of that is because he's 5'10", right? And there is a legit reason why teams look at quarterbacks, because a lot of those quarterbacks like Brees, it's a reason Russ always, most of the time when you see Russ, what do you see him? You see him outside the pocket because he struggles seeing off his offensive lineman. He can do it, but it's not where he thrives. Even
same with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, even with
you see Brees, him a lot. Yeah.
Even with Brees, like if you pressure, like when the Rams played the Saints, and by the way, the Saints were not set up in that game. They weren't rigged. In that play, in that one penalty call, that pass interference didn't lose them the game because the Rams got a bunch of bad calls too. But if you remember in that overtime that game, if you remember how Brees threw that pick, it was because Aaron Donald was running up the middle.
Yeah.
Them shorter quarterbacks, they struggle inside. Sometimes they struggle in the pocket, especially against D tackles that push the pocket. So against the shorter quarterbacks, if anything, you probably need to upgrade your interior more than your tackles.
Yeah.
Because pressure at the middle is going to affect them the most.
Facts. Yep. I 100% agree with that. That's why Drew Brees was one of the greatest anticipation throwers in the National Football League. For him to be at his height and throw as much yardage as he did, I mean, he has to be considered as one of the top tier guys. It sucks that, last year was his last year, and it's going to be weird not seeing for the New Orleans Saints, number 9, Drew Brees, there anymore. And I agree with the one probably 40. He said, I think people are going to think I'm crazy, but Sean McVay might be on the hot seat as well. I definitely think that as well. I think that's why they kind of made that panic move all in and traded Goff for Stafford.
I don't think he's on the hot seat. Let's not forget he's made the playoffs. What, 3 of the past 4 years?
I think he made it every single year. No, he did miss it the first one. Yeah, I think it was 3 out of 4.
Even if it's 2 out of 4, so he's made the playoffs last year, and he
barely though.
Super Bowl the year before that, and last year he beat the Seahawks. Best record in the division. Some people thought they might be an NFC championship team. He beat the Seahawks. So clearly he's good enough, coach. I don't think he's on the hot seat. I think in order for you to be on the hot seat, you have to really go downhill.
Yeah.
Right? Like even with Shanahan just made a Super Bowl 2 years ago. He got injured this year. Now, if he goes 2 more years and it's kind of like shaky, then maybe. And same thing with McVay, especially now that he got Stafford. But
I think, that's the same thing I feel. I mean, I 100% agree, but that's the same feeling I have with Cliff Kingsbury. Like, he hasn't had his team and he hasn't had a real offseason. So I'm giving him these little passes, but this is the year I'm going to demand a little bit of, okay, you got to at least, with this roster right here, you got to at least make the playoffs.
Yep, he made.
If you don't make the playoffs, then yeah, you got to go.
Yep, the Rams made the playoffs in 3 out of the last 4 years.
Yeah,
and that is insanity. If you fire that guy, you run to get him to Detroit. He made the playoffs 3 out of 4 years, and the only time he did make the playoffs, he was 9-7. He won the division twice.
Yeah. But I mean, that goes to,
like the only time they've missed was it? What? This is 2 years ago, right? No, this is
2 years ago. McVay was in the Super Bowl.
No, that's the 49ers. Like, the only time they really missed it is when the 49ers run through the division. Like, they was 9-7, and then like 3 of the losses was like 49ers, 49ers again and like Seahawks. Like,
Yeah.
like they lost to like the best teams. So
Yeah.
he would have been 4 for 4 playoffs. That man, his resume right now is too good for you to get rid of him. Now, I think in order, like I said, you got to kind of either disappoint for multiple years, because I think Kingsbury will be, he's kind of sort of on the hot seat. I don't think he's really gonna be like, unless the Cardinals will have to severely disappoint this year. I'm going like, yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat, right? I think it's kind of there, but hey, I don't. Yeah. So right now, in order, actually, a team that what coaches would be on the hot seat? Honestly, I think a coach that might actually be on the hot seat, maybe Pete Carroll.
That's very possible. Just me says Tomlin 3 more years. I think so. I think he has done enough in his coaching career to where he can rebuild this team. I would give Mike Tomlin a chance to rebuild this team. And just me, I want to let you know, from all my Steeler fans out there, I am going Tevin Jenkins, first round, 24th overall pick, and then the second round, go get Creed Humphrey. They need to solidify their offensive line. If they're bringing back Ben Roethlisberger, solidify that offensive line. So first 2 picks, I'm going O-line. That's for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But
the Steelers are in a weird place. It's funny. The Steelers always used to have one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is that, but that's because their age. They don't really go out and replace the guys. If they work, they're there. But when they got injuries or they got, this, that, the other, they're aging, it's time to replenish that. You had a Creed Humphrey in the second round. That would continue their rich tradition of the best center in National Football League. You think of Pittsburgh Steelers football offensive line, you think of the best center. They always have one. It's just like the Lions. Like,
I don't think
when you think of wide receivers
for a while.
Hey, Marcus Pouncey was one of the better offensive centers in the league. True. Before him, like, they have a rich tradition of one of the better offensive centers.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that you can really like, a lot of people go like, well, this coach is kind of good with these kind of players. A lot of the coaches who are good at developing certain type of players, you'll see it over their history. The Patriots always have good linebackers. Because Bill Belichick is amazing at coaching up linebackers. The Ravens usually have a good offensive line, right? And even when they struggled for the 1 year, you know what they did the next year? They built it.
Yeah.
Right. And the Ravens always develop edge rushers.
Oh yeah.
And every time a guy leaves, he leaves and he'll go to another situation and be elite. Like Zadarius Smith left, he became elite. Right. There was another Pernell McPhee. He left, went to the Bears, and he was amazing for like 2 years.
Yeah.
They have shown like we can, and they'll just let him go because they're like, we'll bring in this other guy
and do the same thing all over again.
Exactly. They even took a chance on some of those player personality concerned guys.
Oh yeah.
There was 2 of them. I forget his name. He played for Alabama. I think his name was like Will Anderson. He was a player for Alabama. No, it's not Will Anderson. Will Anderson plays for Alabama currently. He was a player. He came from Alabama, right? Amazing pass rusher, but it was some real character concerns. He went to NFL. I think the Ravens picked him up, and he hasn't been good. I don't think he's been out there. And it was another guy they picked up. I forget his name. Jalen. I think it was Jalen something. Because he had a different problem. He was kind of like in the Harold Landry tier of guys that I don't want to play the run.
Yeah.
I'm not good versus the run. I don't want to play the run. Yeah, Jalen Ferguson.
Oh yeah, Jalen Ferguson. Yep.
Yeah, like not even like, come on, man. Because those guys fall, and those guys, you know, what's weird. As much as the NFL has shown they don't really care, they prefer pass rush over ability to stop the run. Those guys that come out and say, "Oh yeah," the guys that clearly don't want to stop the runs like that. Bradley and I is another one. Those guys fall.
Yeah.
And I think that's less because of I don't want to play the run thing, because it's more of a mindset thing. It's like, do I want that kind of mindset on my team? Probably not, especially not even with your talent.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a different mindset to want to play the run because, you know you're going to get hit. You know you're going to try to hit somebody too. Some people are, I call them the quote-unquote pretty boys. Oh, I just want to look good getting an interception. I don't want to, come in like, say, a Troy Polamalu or an Ed Reed and lay that wood down, But, for me, I mean, even with the Steelers, I would love Najee Harris there, but I think you solidify that offensive line. Tevin Jenkins, Creed Humphrey, and like the later rounds, you go get a Ramondre Stevenson out of Oklahoma, and you just take the leash completely right off, and it'll be a day one guy.
I mean, the Rams, if the Steelers really want a running back that's gonna be amazing that can start day one, then what's the guy?
Well, there's even UNC. Trey Sermon.
There's a guy to UNC. Forget his name.
Oh, UNC. Javonte Williams.
Yeah, Javonte Williams would be a dog for you. That man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm high on Javonte. I'm high on Javonte Williams.
I think they got another running back too. Michael Carter.
Yep, Michael Carter too is coming out.
Like, yeah, he's an amazing receiver. But man, Javonte Williams, like, he's like the third best running back in this class. But like, in terms of like,
I don't know how though, but it's
only because he's like Najee Harris is this freak like running back who's like 6'2", 230, fast. He's got long arms. Like he has longer arms than Sewell and Slater.
Yeah.
He's a running back. He has like legit like wide receiver arm length, right? He's big, strong, can run. He's not a burner, but he's surprisingly quick for his size. And he's got better hands than you expect. There's not a lot of running backs running around 220, 230 plus that are great in the receiving game other than like Saquon. A lot of those guys, when they get big enough, they just like guys like Henry or who's another guy? Chubb even. Those guys aren't really that amazing as pass catchers. And then Najee Harris is just like the freak of both worlds.
Yeah, he really is. But I mean, like, if you miss out on a Najee Harris, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, there's Trey Sermon, there's Javonte Williams, there's Chuba Hubbard, there's Trey. I think I already said Trey Sermon. I mean, there's a bunch of guys like Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, I'm super high on Ramondre Stevenson. I think wherever he lands, he's gonna be a beast.
It's not a coincidence that nearly every single year there's always a 6 or 7 round running back that you can bring up that you think is really, really good.
Facts.
Because the NFL will show you what they think about a player. What they think about positions by their money, they'll show you by their pockets and what they picks. And if you know the running backs don't go in the first, because the NFL's kind of like, is not only running backs replaceable, but a lot of teams in the NFL kind of have the idea of, if I just get a great offensive line, not only will my pass protection be great, my run game will be great, my running back won't really matter like that. I'll just plug in an average guy, he'll be amazing. Look at the 49ers.
Heck, look at what do you call it? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep, with James Robinson. But I said the 49ers because look at them. They just take fast guys and throw them in Kyle Shanahan's system, and they look amazing.
Yeah.
Like I forget what his name. Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert
cut by multiple teams.
Yeah.
Multiple teams. He's like 27. He was been in the league for a minute. 49ers was like, "Are you fast?" He was like, "Yeah." Like, welcome to the team.
There's another one, Jamar Jefferson too, another good running back. I totally forgot about him. Shout out to Zach J. You know, but I mean, it's like I could dig a Najee Harris, but it's like I don't have to have him as the be all end all. Like, if I can solidify my offensive line and still go get a dog at running back and say, like, a Ramondre Stevenson, it's still going to be the same type of production. You know, I just don't have to, spend a high draft pick on something that is more of a want than a need. Like, offensive line is a need for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you can't keep Ben Roethlisberger upright, or the heir apparent, whenever that will be, to Ben Roethlisberger, whether it's, they draft a guy this year or next year, you have to keep that person upright, and you got to be able to open up run lanes for whoever the running back is. They got McFarley, so, you got to open up run holes as of right now for McFarley. So, I mean, for me personally, I'm upgrading everything possible for an offensive line. After that, because let's face it, games are won and lost by your offensive line and defensive line. The trenches dictate wins and losses. If your trenches are horrible, I don't care who you have. You will not be winning football games if you have a bad offensive and defensive line. So if I can get a Tevin Jenkins and a Creed Humphrey, and then later on go pick a Ramondre Stevenson, I just really boosted up that run game. And then I got guys like a Chase Claypool, on the outside, and I re-up for 1 year for what's his name, Juju Smith-Schuster as well. Like, I'm starting to really build this team for the future.
I was also surprised Juju went back, but apparently
I am too.
Apparently his best offer was the Ravens that offered him like.
Yeah, I was actually shocked he didn't go there because of hey, I got the Steelers twice on my list.
I understand why he went back to the Steelers, probably because he felt more comfortable.
Oh yeah,
if you want to win, well,
oh, yeah.
Also because the Ravens' offense is kind of tight and oriented, which.
Well, it's more, that, and plus it's more run heavy too.
Yeah, but
and that's where the tight ends come into play too. Yeah.
But I think that the Ravens could be switching to more of a passing offense. They tried to do that early in the season, and it didn't work out well. And they basically came to the realization Lamar's not ready for this yet. We'll go back to what he was doing last year. But I think this year they're going to try that again. And I think that's part of the reasons why they're trying to get some wide receivers. Yeah.
I can see that. But we have been on for 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. So with that being said, Tony, you got any closing words?
It was great coming here with you guys today. Remember, Gregory Rousseau is trash.
Facts.
Don't forget that. And Zach Wilson's the best quarterback in the draft.
Okay, I can dig that.
Also, Zach Wilson taking Kyle Pitts and just be ready for it.
I was waiting for that one.
Just be ready for it. When we take Kyle Pitts and he's like Hall of Famer and he giving us Calvin Johnson flashbacks, just be ready for it.
Hey, I appreciate you, Tone, for coming on board. We're a little light on the panel, but we had a great show regardless, and appreciate each and every single one of you that came out. We got one more show before the NFL draft next Wednesday. If you're not subscribed to the Infinite Sports Network, we drop daily content over there. Today I dropped a video. It is 40 minutes long on the Detroit Lions draft. I will be dropping another one this week over there, probably in the morning, because usually we drop videos over there about like 4 o'clock or so. And then I got one more on next Wednesday as well, and that'll conclude the draft stuff. I will be doing a mock draft on the Steelers and the Cardinals. So those are the 2 videos I'll be working on. I drop another one this week and then another one on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe to every single member of the Infinite Sports Network. We do drop content daily, and I appreciate each and every single one of you. With that being said, this is Necessary Roughness. 8 days till the draft, baby. Have a nice day, and I'll see you next week. Peace.